Someone in the comments section below one of my videos recently brought up a topic that I felt was important to speak to. The topic that was brought up was about whether or not we should lean into our rage. Now, there are many reasons why a person can feel rage. And so it's difficult to say what is right or wrong. Let's just say, for example, you see a child being hurt by somebody else. You see somebody who is disadvantaged being dominated and hurt. Rage may come up in you and a warrior part of yourself may emerge, and that can be the right time to use it and take action to protect that other person. It may happen that someone's trying to hurt you. It may happen that somebody is trying to physically dominate you and abuse you and hurt you. And it makes sense in those moments. You might want to lean into that rage to find that power to physically overcome those problems and circumstances. So I don't want to say that there's not a time when you shouldn't lean into rage. But this discussion that I was having with this person was really about whether or not a person healing should lean into their rage. And she had read a book that said that you should lean into your rage. And there are different schools of thought on that. There are people who believe that you should continue experiencing the anger you feel until it just dissipates. But in my experience, what I've seen is that there can be disastrous consequences to that type of leaning in. If you, say for instance, don't get that experience to dissipate, and in fact it builds and it becomes how you're living your life. Maybe you're expressing your anger and your rage out there in the world on all sorts of random people. Maybe you're not seeing that it's causing you to become very teethy and it's destroying and eating up the quality of the experience of the life around you that you could be having. Rage becomes like an internal bonfire that can destroy everything, including your perceptual field and new opportunities that can change that experience for you. So leaning into rage is tricky. There are many emotions underneath the surface of rage and anger. It's kind of like an abscess that you have under the skin. There is bacteria that's trapped under the skin that's causing it to become infected and toxic to the body. So the body starts pushing out that infection and erupting so that it can cleanse itself. And that's kind of like what anger and rage is. It's a signal that there's something under the surface that's causing an infection. But if you just simply vent it until you no longer feel it, you won't really have the opportunity to intelligently unpack what was causing the actual infection underneath the skin. It's the same with our emotions. Our emotions are very complex, and they can be emotions that we've carried with us since childhood. They can be an emotion that has been with us since a particular trauma or experience that we may have repressed or forgotten about. There can be different emotions related to one particular experience. So in the case of anger and rage, when we look at it, there may be 5 different emotions connected to why you feel angry. It could be rejection, isolation, loneliness, abandonment, betrayal. There could be a whole bunch of different experiences that relate to this particular experience of rage. Let's say, for instance, you had a father who cheated on your mother and it destroyed your family, and your family got divorced, and it was devastating to you because your family broke apart and you found yourself in a broken home. Later in life, someone comes along and cheats on you. And now all of a sudden, the multiplier effect is there for this rage. This anger becomes so much more than just this person cheating on you, because the original infection came from childhood. So you have multiple sources that are creating this rage and this anger. In my experience, the best thing to do is to examine what is underneath the surface of that anger and that rage. Really communicate with it. Emotions are communications from within. They are speaking something that we feel and that is true of how we have perceived that experience. That emotion is important to begin to communicate with so that you can learn about yourself. You can learn about how something made you feel. You can learn about the reactions it caused. You can learn about how it changed and affected you, mind, body, story level. how it's affecting your health, how it's affecting how you participate in life. When you communicate with your emotions, you're able to understand yourself in a more intimate way. You're able to take that rage you feel and transmute it into an experience of compassion for the self instead of a desire to annihilate someone else. So you end up with a volcanic explosion with rage, which is okay because it's just you becoming aware that there's something infected inside that needs to be communicated with, that needs to be healed. But to believe that the rage is there as the outlet to heal it, it's not really the full truth. The full truth is there needs to be an intelligent, intimate, loving, nurturing way to communicate with oneself inside in order to allow that inflammation to go away. Anger and rage will make you lose your sense of control and power that you have over the situation because you'll be focused on the other person as the problem, as the one that you need to control or you need to annihilate or they need to change. And you have no control over other people. That is an illusion. And the more that you try to make a person change, the more you keep them from being able to naturally evolve. So the power always has to be put back into self-reflection, self-analyzation, and self-ownership of those feelings and those emotions. Even if the situation that was done to you was not your fault and it didn't have anything to do with a choice that you made, you still have to take ownership of those emotions and those feelings and learn to communicate with them as a friend would. These emotions are here to help you transmute into the more stronger, more beautiful person that you can become. It's like the caterpillar to the butterfly. You're in a certain stage of growth. And when you go through this process of processing your emotions and intimately knowing what hurt you, what it caused in you, and what you consciously want to do about that. Do you want to keep focusing on your rage? Do you want to keep focusing on your anger? Is that going to change the outcome of your life? Will you benefit more by focusing on yourself and your own journey and your own growth? For me, I knew that everything I needed was internal. I didn't need to read books, and I didn't need to hear from therapists, and I didn't need to hear from anyone else. I just needed to go inside and actually see what it was that was inside and deal with that stuff. Deal with all of the unfairness, the hurt, the pain, and anything that was in there and make peace with it and help it to know that we're not alone. We are in charge of this destiny and we know where we're going together to set that destination point. We don't want a life that looks like what we came from. We want a life that looks better than what we came from. We want a life that leaves everything around us better because we were there. We don't want to repeat the mistakes we've made. We don't want to allow people to hurt us in the same way. But we are going to become wiser. We're not going to let it change our nature and who we are. We are going to be the loving, empathic, intelligent, wise being that we always were. And I use the term we because our consciousness is married with trillions of cells in our body that are all intelligent. So your inner world is a community. It's a community of intelligence. And it will speak to you when you learn to communicate with your emotions and your truth, and you become integrated with the intelligence of your body. So when someone tells you to go down a certain path and then something else is saying, no, we should go down this path, then you're going to know what the destination point is you're trying to go to. Do you want to go to a higher level? Do you want to experience love, freedom, honesty, beauty? Or do you want to go down a path that you have no idea where it's going to take you, but you've become accustomed to these negative feelings that are bringing out your sense of empowerment through the anger that you feel? You can take that road for so long and you can feel that. But if you stay on that road, it will change your destiny. We weren't born here to become angry, rageful people. And if you allow yourself to express anger and rage for very long, it will change the container that you are. It will change how you operate, what you feel is allowable. And so I caution anyone who believes in leaning into rage to do that for very long, because it will definitely change your destiny. It'll change who you are, how you experience life, and mostly how other people experience you. I believe that we are here to love one another. I believe that we are here to learn. I believe that what hurts us shapes us and strengthens us. Much like the diamond that is forged over pressure and time, we are the same carbon life force. We can form the most brilliant, beautiful part of ourselves when we forge through that process of pain and suffering, and we don't resist it. I know what happened to you hurts so badly, and I know that it's difficult to sometimes want to let go of that rage and that anger. But when you're ready to experience life differently, when you're ready to make peace and flow with the waters within, when you're ready to experience all of the beauty that life has to offer, letting go of that anger and rage becomes essential for new experiences and new beauty to wash through you and come through you. I am not here to say I know everything. I'm just a person that has experienced survival and has a lot of wisdom to offer for those who find it valuable. And my desire is just to help other people who are trying to learn how to cope and process their difficulty and go beyond that, recover their lives, find the way to feel beauty again and to feel trust again and to be vulnerable again and to tap back into their innocence, but to also have wisdom that they can carry with them because they have done their emotional processing, to also have strength to be the warrior when you need to be in order to protect yourself or others. But I don't believe that we are meant to carry around our baggage and use that in a way of empowerment. I have found that there is a much more powerful place inside when you process it and you make peace with it and you let it go. So let's talk a little bit more about what you believe. Leave that in the comment section below. How are you finding your journey? Are you hijacked by anger? Are you hijacked by rage? Do you believe in leaning into it? If you do, what has that experience been like for you? Have you seen your way out of it with that process? I love you all, and I hope this has been valuable to you. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about this topic too. Be well, and thank you so much for being here.